Driver training is not just about teaching individuals how to operate vehicles. It is about equipping them with the knowledge and skills necessary to represent the company safely and professionally. We believe that thorough training will reduce risks and costs associated with accidents and non-compliance. Drivers are representatives of Cregger Company. It is crucial that all drivers maintain a positive image and deliver exceptional customer service. Here are some of the expectations that we hold for our delivery personnel. Drivers should maintain a professional appearance, wearing company uniforms or attire. Drivers must follow all job site-specific clothing and/or PPE requirements. Drivers should adhere to all traffic laws and company safety guidelines. Safe and responsible driving is not only critical for the driver's well-being, but also for the company's reputation. Drivers should take good care of their vehicles, keeping them clean and well-maintained as they act as a large, rolling billboard for the company. Drivers are sometimes the only face of the company that the customer will see. Drivers should maintain a friendly and customer-focused approach. Drivers should align with the company's mission, values, and customer service standards. Each driver should represent the company positively in all interactions. Driving is inherently a risky endeavor. We want all of our drivers to be well-trained and well-equipped to complete their job safely. Our top priority for driver training is your safety as the driver. Looking at fatal occupational injuries in the U.S. from 2003 to 2017, transportation incidents were the highest cause of work-related deaths at 40% of all fatalities. The first section of our training is going to cover some of the basics on being a safe driver. Even though these topics seem basic, even unnecessary to cover, they are often the most common causes of accidents or injuries. You climb in and out of your cab constantly. You climb onto the trailer or on top of a flatbed to secure the load you are transporting. This is done so often that you probably don't think of the risk involved, but move too fast or carelessly and you could end up out of service with a serious injury. Trips, slips, and falls cause around 100,000 work-related injuries per year for professional drivers. These injuries keep workers off the job for an average of 24 days, according to the National Safety Council data. Wintertime is an especially dangerous time for falls due to weather hazards like snow, sleet, and ice. According to a report from OSHA, truck drivers had more non-fatal injuries than any other industry. More than half of those were sprains and strains caused in part by slips and falls while getting in or out of trucks. To reduce or prevent such injuries, use the 3 points of contact system when entering and exiting a truck. The 3 points of contact system means 3 of 4 limbs are in contact with the vehicle at all times. Avoid the temptation to hold anything, a coffee cup, smartphone, or logbook, in your free hand when you enter and exit the truck. Never jump from the cab, bed, or trailer. Descend carefully using the appropriate handles to get down safely. Even if you have hopped down without injury many times, it only takes one misstep to cause an injury. Drivers spend less than 1% of their time backing up. But a surprising 30 to 40% of all crashes happen when vehicles are in reverse. What's more, approximately 210 people die from backing accidents each year, mostly children under the age of 5. For both new and experienced drivers, driving in reverse continues to be the most dangerous move you can make behind the wheel. 2/3 of straight truck crashes happen in parking situations. The truth is that they are totally preventable. Backing into a parking space so that you can pull forward when leaving is actually safer and can help reduce your risk of injury to yourself and others. Start with the goal system. Get out and look. Look at your line of travel before you begin. Get out and walk around the vehicle. check your clearance to the sides and overhead, in and near the path your vehicle will take. Always back as slow as possible. That way you can more easily correct any steering errors. You can also stop quickly if necessary. It is okay to say no. Some environments pose too many risks. Unless the hazards can be reduced, do not enter dangerous backing areas. Intersections present some of the greatest safety challenges for commercial vehicle operators and passenger drivers alike. Make no assumptions. As a professional driver, you don't have the luxury of assuming that other drivers on the road will do what they're supposed to at intersections. It will often be up to you to prevent an accident. Even when the right-of-way is clearly and legally yours, you may have to yield to out-of-turn vehicles in some cases. Before proceeding through an intersection, you should always look left, right, and left again. This will ensure that you have a comprehensive understanding of all vehicles and pedestrians around you. Communication is a huge key to success when it comes to intersection safety. There are two primary ways that you communicate your intention to other motorists: the lane you are in and your turn signals. Always use your turn signals to indicate your path, especially if you are not in a dedicated turning lane.
I feel the need for speed.
Speeding is by far the most prevalent risky driving behavior, increasing the risk of an incident by 12.8 times. Speeding endangers not only the life of the speeder, but all the people on the road around them, including law enforcement officers. It is a problem we all need to help solve. For more than 2 decades, speeding has been involved in approximately 1/3 of all motor vehicle fatalities. In 2021, speeding was a contributing factor in 29% of all traffic fatalities. Speed also affects your safety even when you are driving at the speed limit but too fast for road conditions, such as during bad weather, when a road is under repair, or in an area at night that isn't well lit.
Security camera from a business at Riverside and Ramona and Chino. Now watch the center of your screen as a white Ford Mustang comes speeding through and collides with a black SUV right in the middle of that intersection. Both cars go spinning out of control off screen. And this happened at about 1 a.m. this morning, and neighbors tell us they heard that enormous boom and came running to see that Mustang on fire. One neighbor says they helped the driver of that Mustang get out safely. The other driver of the SUV was also able to get out as well, and the fire department says both drivers were taken to the hospital alive.
Almost all theoretical gains from speeding are lost in traffic. During high traffic hours or in heavily populated areas, the hypothetical time savings go out the window. For starters, you can't maintain any constant speed, much less one that exceeds what everyone else is traveling at. Every time you stop at a traffic light, you lose gains as your vehicle slows down approaching the intersection, while you wait for the light to turn green, and when you accelerate back up to speed again. Looking at this chart for commercial motor vehicle speeding, when road traffic was less during the COVID pandemic, speeding went up for commercial motor vehicles. As traffic congestion returned and even exceeded pre-COVID numbers, CMV speeding remained 12% higher than before. When you are driving in heavy traffic, the safest speed is that of the other vehicles. Vehicles going the same direction at the same speed are not likely to run into each other. Drive at the speed of other traffic, if you can, without going at an illegal or unsafe speed, keeping a safe following distance. In a review of 9 Cregger branches over a 90-day period, we found that our drivers were speeding 6.9% of their drive time. The total drive time for our drivers over that period was 5,963 hours, which means that our trucks were speeding for 408 hours and 56 minutes. Severe speeding was 0.2% of drive time for a total of 10 hours 31 minutes at 15 miles per hour over the speed limit, sustained for over 60 seconds. Heavy speeding was 1.1% of the drive time for a total of 68 hours and 15 minutes. Moderate speeding was also roughly 1.1% of drive time for a total of 65 hours and 21 minutes. Finally, light speeding was 4.4% of drive time for a total of 264 hours and 49 minutes. It's important to know that any tickets or fines levied while driving a company vehicle will be covered solely by the employee. Any associate accruing 3 or more moving traffic violations, 3 at-fault accidents, or 3 avoidable incidents in 3 years will be prohibited from operating a company vehicle. This may also lead to termination of employment. Compounding the risk of speeding is the risky driving behavior of not allowing enough following distance between your vehicle and the vehicle in front of you. The Large Truck Crash Causation Study reported that 5% of truck crashes occurred when the commercial motor vehicle driver was following the lead vehicle too closely. The FMCSA recommends 1 second for every 10 feet of vehicle length at 40 miles per hour. If you are traveling over 40 miles per hour, add 1 additional second. You can measure this distance by observing a point on the road and counting the time from when a car in front of you passes that point to the time you reach the point. An emergency can develop in just a second or two, especially at high speeds on the interstate highways, so remain alert for emergencies. Pay attention to what's going on a quarter mile ahead of you and slow down if you observe unsafe traffic behavior, road construction, or other potential hazards. If one accident could cost you your license and potentially your career, is speeding or tailgating really worth it? Lane merging is a common factor to deal with when driving. Merging can be especially challenging and dangerous for trucks, and one of the most common causes of heavy and semi-truck crashes. Areas to consider. Know your vehicle blind spots, and when in question, play it safe and give ample room to merge. Signal well ahead of lane changing to allow other drivers to stay back or go past. Communicate your intentions to merge or change lanes to other drivers by turning on your turn signals before you begin a maneuver. A minimum of 3 blinks of your signal is recommended. After you pass, make sure the vehicle you just passed has the proper following distance behind you before you change lanes back in front of it. Give other motorists room to merge in front of you. Being patient and gracious to other drivers represents our company well. Not allowing a driver to merge in front of you will not save you any time. Before starting your trip, the first thing you need to do is check the weather forecast. That way, you know exactly what to expect. Always bring appropriate clothing for the weather you may encounter. One of the most important precautions you should take is making sure that your truck is in the best condition to drive. Not only can bad weather affect your driving ability, but a broken windshield wiper or a headlight that's out can make this process much more difficult. Be sure to check that your tires are in good condition and that your brakes and lights are all working. Inspect your windshield wipers and check your windshield fluid level. When caught in bad weather during a delivery run, your first instinct may be to rush through the weather so that you can finish the job on time. This is incredibly risky and unsafe. You must always remain cautious when driving in bad weather to prevent a wreck. In a storm or other harsh weather, make sure that you do not slam on your brakes or gas. If you do, you risk your tires locking up or spinning out of control. Stay cautious and gently tap on your brakes or gas as needed. Make sure there is enough room between you and other vehicles in case you have an emergency and need to pull over. If you operate in an area that requires driving through the snow in the winter, be equipped with and prepared to use tire chains. Always follow all CMV chain laws or weather-specific requirements. Be prepared with winter gear to stay warm while working outside on your vehicle.
sure the V-bars are going to contact the road surface. So we're just stretching it out, V-bars on top here, making sure that side chains are all straight and the cross chains are all straight. Some chains have these cam tensioning devices, some don't. We also want to make sure with the cam tighteners that they are on the outside of the tire where you can get at them and tighten up your chains later. We're just going to grab the chain just like that, and we're just going to put it right over the top of the tire, relatively centered, and then just pull it around. Just make sure that we're all squared up like so, because we are going to drive ahead in order to get our fasteners at the back end, preferably where we can get at them a little easier. See where our V-bars are exposed at the top, where they're going to contact the road surface and give us a little more traction. We're just going to make sure our fasteners are on both sides of the tire, just so we don't drive over the fasteners and damage them. Go underneath here. And I am just going to fasten to the first link to start out with. And so we just tighten it up one link on the inside. Get this as tight as possible again. We'll try that one. Okay, that one's going to work. So these particular fasteners have a little keeper here. It's going to slide up there and make sure it's fastened. Tighten the side chains a bit. So piece of equipment we can use if your tire chains don't have the cam tighteners is just a bungee cord with some hooks on. You can even buy these pre-made. So if the whole object again is to get the side chains tight. So we just work that around a little bit, as much as we can, like so. So we're looking good. Now we just go off to the other side, do the same thing, and we're on our way. We're ready to go.
This video is provided to explain the safe operation of liftgates and to help ensure your safety. Please note that some of the specifics shown in this video may vary slightly for different manufacturers or models. To safely operate the liftgate, make certain the truck is in park if equipped, or neutral. And be sure the parking brake is set. Make sure the truck engine is running. Turn on the liftgate auxiliary switch in the cab. Make certain that all people and objects are away from the liftgate operational area. Please read and follow all safety and instructional decals on the side of the truck body. If applicable, unhook the safety chain from the eye on the liftgate, or push down on the control lever to release the latch. While operating the liftgate, always keep hands and feet clear of pinch points. Standing to the side of the platform, push the control switch to the down position until the platform touches the ground. Be sure to never operate the control switch while unfolding the platform. Unfold the platform using the handhold supports provided. Next, unfold the flip-over section. Do not let the platform drop. Use the control switch to raise and lower the platform as necessary. To stow the liftgate, raise the platform approximately 3 inches above the ground by pushing the control switch in the up direction. Before folding the flip over, make sure any cart stops are stowed. Using handhold supports, fold the flip over section, keeping hands clear of the platform support. Fold the platform and push the control switch to the up position. Most liftgates are equipped with an auto latch system. If applicable, hook the safety chain to the eye on the liftgate. Then, turn the liftgate auxiliary switch off in the cab. You are now able to place the truck into gear. Release the parking brake and drive away. Or turn off the engine, remove the keys, exit the cab, and lock the doors. Warning: incorrect operation of this liftgate can result in serious personal injury. Comply with warnings and liftgate operating instructions and use good common sense. Do not exceed rated load capacity of the liftgate as labeled. Be sure bystanders and nearby objects are clear of the liftgate. When operating, stand to one side of the platform. Stay clear of the moving liftgate and its mechanisms to avoid being trapped between the platform and truck body or ground when liftgate is operating. While operating the liftgate, always keep hands and feet clear of pinch points. Never drive a forklift on the liftgate platform. Correctly stow liftgate before moving vehicle or when not in use. Extended platforms could create a hazard for people and vehicles passing by. Never use a cell phone while operating the liftgate. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please contact your Penske representative.
Box trucks are bulkier, taller, heavier, and all around larger than personal vehicles. As such, they require more consideration when you're on the road. Some rental trucks display their height clearances inside the cab and post it in reverse on the box of the truck, so you and anyone else who may be operating the vehicle can note this information before driving and while in transit. It is important to map out your route ahead of time. Be wary of low bridges or other low obstacles. Stay focused. Being distracted or fatigued can easily cause a driver to miss posted signs. Looks may be deceiving. You should heed the road signs that list the safe clearance height even when it looks like you may fit. If you're not sure if the truck will clear an overpass or other obstruction, find a safe zone where you can stop and confirm. Low bridges and other marked low clearance obstacles are not the only things to look out for. Low-hanging tree branches or overhanging building roofs often cause partial or complete destruction to our box trucks. Often these obstacles are not clearly marked. If you are driving a box truck, always scan and look for potential height restrictions. Wheel chocks are a wedge of sturdy material placed against a vehicle's wheels to prevent accidental movement. When parked at a loading dock, always place wheel chocks before a forklift or other equipment is driven onto the back of the truck or trailer. Always ensure the chock is centered and squared with the tire. Position the chock snugly against the tire tread. Position wheel chocks downhill and below the vehicle's center of gravity. Drivers often find themselves alone on a job site needing to unload material that may be heavy and awkward, with an increased risk of causing a physical strain or injury. It is imperative that drivers follow all safe lifting guidelines when loading, unloading, or moving material. Cregger Company has tools and equipment available to assist drivers with moving heavy material. Seek training and familiarize yourself with the use of all equipment before attempting to operate it. When applicable, bring all necessary tools and equipment to help you safely complete your delivery. Whenever a team lift is available, use it. Drivers can help prevent injury by planning ahead and preparing for heavy items with equipment or help. Drivers are encouraged to stop a delivery if at any point their own physical safety is threatened. If you find yourself in this position, reach out to your supervisor or manager to discuss the danger and to strategize a solution or mitigation. Fleet monitoring serves to protect both the company's assets as well as you, the licensed driver. Although it has been shown that 80% of car-truck crashes are caused by car drivers, truck drivers are repeatedly being blamed for the accident. In many cases, there are no witnesses, so it comes down to he said, she said. GPS has been used to exonerate Cregger Company drivers from false accusations. Cregger Company reserves the right to add or remove any monitoring device from any company vehicle. Cregger Company employees are not allowed to remove, disable, or tamper with the devices in any way, unless specifically instructed to do so by management. Only operate a vehicle that you are trained and licensed to drive. Non-commercial motor vehicles are vehicles up to 10,000 pounds GVWR. In order to drive a non-commercial motor vehicle, you only need a regular driver's license. A commercial motor vehicle is anything that is 10,001 pounds or higher. Vehicles that are 10,001 pound to 26,000 pounds GVWR require a regular driver's license with a DOT medical certification card. Vehicles that are over 26,001 pound GVWR require a commercial driver's license as well as the DOT medical certification card. Any driving violations, personal or professional, may affect your ability to drive for Cregger Company. You must report any traffic tickets received to your supervisor by the end of the next business day. This includes tickets while on the job or tickets received while off the clock. A record of your traffic violations will be maintained in your personnel file. All employees driving a company vehicle will be subject to an annual inspection of their motor vehicle record. All CDL drivers will also be subject to an annual clearinghouse inspection. If at any time an associate's driver's license is suspended, the employee is to notify management within 24 hours and will no longer be permitted to operate any company vehicles. If at any time an associate acquires a driving under the influence, driving while impaired, or operating while influenced violation, they must notify their manager within 24 hours of the incident. Due to the severity of this violation, all driving rights of the associate will be immediately revoked, and the company will have the right to terminate the associate with cause. For any accident with serious or life-threatening injuries, call 911. For any accident without injury or the need for immediate medical care, contact local police to report the incident. All incidents must be reported to your supervisor as soon as possible after the appropriate authorities have been alerted and you are out of harm's way. In a safe manner, take as many pictures of the accident as possible. Take pictures of the vehicles involved, the surrounding area and conditions, and the other driver's insurance and registration. It is far better to have too many pictures than too few. Submit the pictures and any other documentation you collect to your supervisor. You may also need to participate in filling out accident reporting paperwork. As with accidents, report a vehicle breakdown to your supervisor as soon as possible. This includes reporting a check engine light or other vehicle problems or malfunctions. If you are stranded, while sitting on the side of the road, turn on the vehicle's hazard lights. On a divided highway, place your emergency triangles behind the truck at 10 feet, 100 feet, and 200 feet. On a two-lane road, place one emergency triangle 100 feet in front of your vehicle, and the other two triangles 10 feet and 100 feet behind your vehicle. You will be held personally liable for breaking hands-free policies or laws. This could affect your finances, your job, and your ability to drive in the future. The United States Department of Transportation prohibits drivers of commercial vehicles from using handheld mobile telephones while operating commercial vehicles. Cregger Company policy defers to federal regulation and to any applicable state legislation that extends hand-free driving beyond commercial vehicles. It is the obligation of a driver to know and follow the laws and regulations of their area of operation. Cregger Company has an allowance in place for drivers looking to purchase an approved Bluetooth hands-free device.
My name is Carlos Rosario. I'm a Florida Highway Patrolman. I'm a state trooper. I'm in Miami-Dade County conducting a laser speed enforcement. I slow down the vehicle that I want to stop, slows down, but the vehicle behind him is not paying attention. He's texting and driving. At 70-something miles per hour, he swerves not to hit the car that I had almost to a stop. He goes close to the shoulder. I was on the shoulder, hits me. I fly, hit the back of the cruiser, land. 2 other state troopers that are there come do the first aid on me. I broke the left tibia in 2 places. I have a rod from here to here right now. I broke the ulna, fractured the C1, fractured the jaw, 3 places. Lost a chunk of skin from the face, lost more than 15 bags of blood. He almost killed me. Put me out of work for 2 years, but he's still a kid. I didn't want him to go to jail. I have kids the same age. I'm going to the hospital on a daily basis. I look to the side, everybody's on their phone, everybody. Knowing that this is so serious now. As soon as I woke up, first thing I talked to the FHP was, Florida Highway Patrol, was, how can I help? So yes, this is really, really serious. And I'm on fire, you can say, to educate people, to let them know, put it down, don't use your phone while you drive.
Hands-free restriction includes reaching for, holding, and dialing mobile telephones or other communication devices while driving. Hands-free use of mobile telephones is allowed by using either a wired or wireless earpiece or speakerphone function, as long as the driver can initiate, answer, or terminate a call by touching a single button on a mobile telephone, earpiece, steering wheel, instrument panel, or without having to reach for the phone. This prohibition includes reading or responding to emails, text messaging, adjusting GPS or mapping, and accessing the internet. Commercial vehicle drivers may not use handheld cell phones or any other mobile electronic devices while operating a motor vehicle, whether the vehicle is in motion or temporarily stationary because of traffic, a traffic control device, or other momentary delays. In an emergency, using a handheld mobile telephone is permissible when necessary to communicate with law enforcement officials or other emergency services. Violation of this policy will result in disciplinary action up to and including possible termination of employment, regardless of if the behavior resulted in an incident.
In one way or another, artificial intelligence is becoming part of our daily lives, and that now includes on our highways. Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Wilson.
And I'm Neil McNeil. The North Carolina Highway Patrol is now using AI to identify distracted commercial drivers. It's been in place since the spring, covering the eastern, western, and central parts of the state. Fox 8's Celeste Smith has been on this story today. She joins us now live in Greensboro with more. Celeste.
So the devices are placed on high traffic roads for commercial vehicles, and they will take images of the commercial drivers in violation of the hands-free law. The photo will be taken and sent to state troopers, and I spoke with truck drivers who say that if this tool keeps people safe, then they're all for it.
Being an advocate and being in the truck for over 20 years, I've seen a lot of bad things when people are distracted.
NC Highway Patrol is using 3 AccuSenses heads-up solution devices placed across the state along I-40. The cameras are only monitoring commercial drivers and will take photos of a passing truck's plates and capture images of the driver inside the cab. It is looking for hands-free and seatbelt violations. Unlike passenger vehicle drivers, commercial drivers have to be hands-free at all times when driving. The AI devices are mobile and can be relocated. Plus, there's no schedule for where they're placed.
I think it'll be an excellent implement in trying to catch distracted driving. As we know, it's all a huge problem now with people on phones and things like that. So I think it'll be a good help for everybody.
A state trooper sits in a location past the device and will get an alert within seconds when there is a violation, and they can pull up the photo and review it. If there is evidence of a violation, they will stop the truck as it passes. Fines up to $100 could be issued. A spokesperson with State Highway Patrol said last week in the Hickory area, in a 30-minute period, they had more than 5 violations. Commercial drivers said they also hope to see something similar used to monitor passenger vehicle drivers in violation of texting and driving and not wearing seatbelts.
Research commissioned by the FMCSA shows that the odds of being involved in a safety-critical event are 6 times greater for CMV drivers who engage in dialing a mobile telephone while driving than for those who do not. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports that driving while texting is 6 times more dangerous than driving drunk. University of Utah psychologists have published a study showing that motorists who talk on a handheld or hands-free cellular phone are as impaired as drunken drivers. The study reinforced earlier research by Strayer and Drews, showing that hands-free cell phones are just as distracting as handheld phones because of the conversation itself, not just manipulation of a handheld phone, distracting drivers from road conditions. You can read more information on this study in your driver handbook. Texting while driving is illegal. Cregger Company specifically prohibits any texting while driving. This ban also includes talk to text. Either pull over and stop the vehicle, or wait until you have reached your destination before sending any messages. When bodily injury is involved, offenders of texting and driving may also face jail or prison time. Penalties vary, but commercial drivers are commonly held to stricter penalties due to the public nature of their positions. Consequences heighten in severity when you have repeated offenses. Following maps and directions to find a job site is a daily requirement for most delivery drivers. Before leaving, look up the address of the next location and turn on audible direction prompts. If the use of visual direction prompts is necessary, purchase a phone mount to hold your phone or tablet in a non-distracting location. You cannot pick up or hold a phone to follow directions. For Cregger Company, there can also be large consequences caused by an employee breaking distracted driving laws and breaking company policy. As such, Cregger Company may review phone records from a company-provided phone and request personal phone records for any driver when there is reasonable suspicion of distracted driving or there was involvement with an at-fault incident. Phones or other electronics are not the only distractions that could tempt your attention away from driving and the road ahead. Eating or drinking while driving not only creates a distraction, but also limits your physical ability to operate a vehicle. Similar to other distractions, fatigue can play a significant role in a driver's ability to drive safely. You are 3 times more likely to be in a car crash if you are fatigued. If possible, you should take a nap when feeling drowsy or less alert. Short naps are more effective at restoring energy levels than coffee or caffeine. Smoking may not only be a distraction for a driver, but it also damages the vehicle interior and lowers its value. Smoking is prohibited in all company vehicles, whether the vehicle is owned, leased, or rented.
Right back down. First I am taking myself out of this hole. I love your eyes, the way they look when you're uncomfortable. I want fireworks.
Good. At 1050 rollover. Eyes and second EMF, immediate roll. Previous 1050, 84 west. Good. At 1050. 250 rollover.
The FMCSA mandates that before operating the vehicle, the driver must inspect the vehicle and be satisfied that it is in safe operating condition. Pre-trip inspection should include fluid levels, engine oil, engine coolant, transmission fluid, power steering fluid, brake fluid, windshield cleaner, mirrors, headlights, taillights, signals, marker lights, windshield wipers, tires, suspension, and secured cargo/load securement. Drivers of commercial motor vehicles must inspect vehicles and prepare and sign a written report at the completion of each day's work on each vehicle operated. The report shall cover at least the following parts and accessories and must list any defect or deficiency discovered by or reported to the driver, which would affect the safety of operation of the vehicle or result in its mechanical breakdown. Service brakes, including trailer brake connections, parking or handbrake, steering mechanism, lighting devices and reflectors, tires, horn, windshield wipers, rear vision mirrors, coupling devices, wheels and rims, and emergency equipment. If a driver operates more than one vehicle during the day, a report must be prepared for each vehicle operated. In accordance with the FMCSA requirements, every Cregger Company driver must inspect their commercial motor vehicle before use and submit a report if a defect that would affect the safety of operation of the vehicle is found or has been reported to the driver. Cregger Company also requires each driver to submit a daily report even if no defect is found. Daily Accurate Driver Vehicle Inspection Reports, or DVIR, are a vital piece to keep our fleet well maintained and operational. DVIRs may be submitted digitally or in paper copy, depending on the process for your specific branch. Check with your supervisor for instructions on how to submit a DVIR.
Hello, I'm Deputy Darren Powers with the Spokane County Sheriff's Office Commercial Motor Vehicle Enforcement. Today, we'll be going over pre-trip inspections, why it is important for you and for your company. First, let's go over what a pre-trip inspection is. A pre-trip inspection report is a driver's reportable document done daily to ensure all aspects of the vehicle safety are checked prior to driving a commercial motor vehicle. The pre-trip inspection does several things for you. It's mandated by commercial federal regulation. It ensures your safety as a driver, as well as other motorists sharing the roadway with you and your commercial motor vehicle. It limits the liability of your commercial motor vehicle company, and if you or the commercial motor vehicle is involved in an accident. It shows a written document to an inspector of a deficiency found during an inspection and limits you as a driver to the exposure of a citation versus the company's exposure of a already known defect. Now, let's look at what commercial federal regulation says about inspections and in regards to you as the driver and to your company. 49 CFR 392.7 reads, "No commercial motor vehicle shall be driven unless the driver is satisfied that the following parts and accessories are in good working order. Items to be inspected by the driver are parking or your handbrake, service brakes, including trailer and brake connections, steering mechanism, lighting devices and reflectors, tires, horn, your windshield wipers, rear vision mirrors, coupling devices, and lastly, emergency equipment." Emergency equipment inspection includes under 49 CFR 392.8, it reads, "No commercial motor vehicle shall be driven unless the driver is satisfied the emergency equipment required in 49 CFR 393.95 is in place and ready for use." 49 CFR 393.95 reads, "Emergency equipment on all power units, each truck, tractor, trailer, or bus must be equipped with the following: a fire extinguisher with a minimum rating for load being carried, spare fuses, 6 roadway flares, or 3 safety triangles." 49 CFR 392.9 reads, "A driver may not operate a commercial motor vehicle, and a motor carrier may not require or permit a driver to operate a commercial motor vehicle unless the commercial motor vehicle cargo is properly distributed and adequately secured. The commercial motor vehicle tailgate, tailboard, doors, tarpaulin systems, spare tires, and other equipment used in its operation, and the means of the fastening of the commercial motor vehicle's cargo are secured. Subsection B reads, the driver or the truck tractor must assure himself that the provisions of this subsection have been complied with before he or she drives the commercial motor vehicle, and the driver must inspect the load within 50 miles after beginning of the trip or is necessary to ensure the load is secure. A driver or company can look at all these securements and regulations under Commercial Federal Regulation 49 393.100 through 393.136. Now, let's look at the truck parts you will be required to inspect on your pre-trip inspection. A simple way to inspect the truck is to start with the inside of the cab, looking for your charged and secured fire extinguisher. Let's look for our safety triangles or 6 roadway flares. Once found, and ensuring that they are in proper working order, press your vehicle's horn to ensure it can be heard. Now let's check your windshield wipers and fluid and ensure that they work and have fluid in them. Check your outside mirrors are in good working order, and from the driver's seat, you can see both the left and the right-hand side of your vehicle. Check your steering wheel and ensure when you turn left and right with your steering wheel, there is no play or lag time in the wheels turning. Ensure your steering wheel is tight and does not have any slack in the column. Lastly, place your vehicle's emergency brake on to ensure it will hold if you need it on a stop or on a hill or grade. Now, let's turn on our commercial motor vehicle lights and ensure they are working and in proper order. To ensure all your lights are working, you should check your running lights, your individual turn signals, low and high beam headlamps, your flashing hazard lights on the front and the back of your vehicle, your front clearance lamps, rear marker lights, and any other lights that you have on your truck. All have to be working and be cleaned as to be seen from a distance of 100 feet away. Lastly, you want to make sure your brake lights work, which can be problematic at times. Try to have a coworker assist you to ensure they light up when the brake pedal is depressed. But if alone, you can place a brake stick or a heavy object on the brake pedal so you can walk back ensuring the brake lights work. Next, make a check from the front left bumper all the way around to the front right bumper of your vehicle. You will be checking for tire tread depth and ensuring that all tires are inflated. Front tires must be at least 4/32 of an inch tread depth, and all other tires must have at least 2/32 of an inch tread depth. An easy way to check this without any specialized tools is to take a penny and place it in the tire groove. If the groove surface is at the top of Lincoln's hair, when pressed firmly into the groove, you are approximately 2/32 of an inch on your tread depth. If the penny is pressed firmly into the groove and the penny sinks all the way to the bottom of Lincoln's hairline or to his forehead, you are at 4/32 of an inch tread depth. Now, check for your couplings to ensure your trailer and your trailer brakes are connected and are working effectively. Once confirmed everything is satisfactory for your day of driving and for work, write up your pre-trip and have it accessible in case you get pulled over by a commercial motor vehicle inspector. If deficiencies are found, write it up and have it fixed prior to driving. As we know, you and your company are responsible for the safety of these vehicles. With that, I'd like to thank you for your time and concern for safety on the job while driving these large vehicles. Have a great day and drive safely.
Any driver who receives a roadside inspection report is required to deliver it to the motor carrier within 24 hours. If a vehicle is declared out of service, violations or defects must be corrected before a vehicle may operate again. Carriers must sign and return the completed roadside inspection report within 15 days of the inspection, verifying that all violations have been corrected. Cregger Company policy requires that all drivers adequately secure all cargo in accordance with all federal, state, and local requirements. Cargo must be firmly immobilized or secured on or within a vehicle by structures of adequate strength, dunnage or dunnage bars, shoring bars, tie-downs, or a combination of these. The aggregate working load limit of any securement system used to secure cargo from movement must be at least 1/2 of the weight of the cargo. There must be one tie-down for each cargo piece 5 feet or less in length and 1,100 pounds or less in weight. 2 tie downs if the piece of cargo is 5 feet or less in length but more than 1,100 pounds in weight, or greater than 5 feet but less than 10 feet regardless of weight. When cargo is not blocked or positioned to prevent it from moving forward and the item is longer than 10 feet in length, then it must be secured by 2 tie downs for the first 10 feet of length and 1 additional tie down for every 10 feet of length beyond the first 10 feet. It is the responsibility of each branch to provide adequate load securement devices for every vehicle operating in their fleet. It is the responsibility of each driver to ensure that all cargo is completely secure on their vehicle before departing. The electronic logging device, or ELD mandate, applies to most motor carriers and drivers who are currently required to maintain records of duty status, or RODS. The ELD mandate allows limited exceptions, including drivers who operate under the short haul exception are not required to keep RODS and will not be required to use ELDs. The short haul exception applies to a vast majority of our drivers. Drivers using the short haul exception must report and return to the normal work reporting location within 14 consecutive hours and stay within a 150 air mile radius of the work reporting location. If you have more questions about the short haul exception, an electronic logging device, or hours of service, speak with your manager or supervisor. Defensive driving is a set of safe responses to potential hazards, including other drivers, damaged road surfaces, debris, inclement weather, and more. Getting behind the wheel isn't risk-free, and employing defensive driving techniques can help keep you and other drivers safe. What are defensive driving techniques? Take your time. Speeding is the most common aggressive driving behavior. No matter how late you are to your destination, resist the urge to speed. Be on the lookout. Circumstances can change quickly on the road. Defensive driving means scanning everything in your line of vision, not just what's right in front of you. Keep a safe following distance. 40% of accidents that occur each year are rear-end collisions. Tailgating can increase your likelihood of getting into a crash. Take note of road hazards. Road debris, potholes, and cargo in the bed of a truck can quickly turn into a dangerous condition. Avoid distractions. When you are behind the wheel, focus only on the road. Pass with care. If you need to pass another driver, make sure there's enough space that you don't cut them off or get too close to another vehicle. Stay calm. A minor irritation can quickly turn into road rage. Keeping your cool no matter what another driver does can help prevent a frustration from escalating into a serious incident. Don't take another driver's actions personally. Remember that you represent Cregger Company. As you reach the end of this driver training, we want to extend our heartfelt gratitude for embarking on this journey with us. Remember, driving is not just a skill. It is a responsibility that affects not only you, but those around you. By taking time to educate yourself, you have demonstrated a dedication to fostering a culture of safety on our roads. Thank you.